Oh, look at that. Found myself a lamp. Oh, it's a bit dusty though. I'll give it a rub, just see what happens.
I am the genie of the lamp, and I'm here to grant you 3 wishes.
Alright, Jean. Yeah, I'll have a couple of wishes. I would like some new friends who are not straight, they're nice, and they're people what I've never met.
I can grant you these 3 wishes. I shall bestow upon you a pair of queer and pleasant strangers.
Oh, lovely. Greetings, strangers, queer and pleasant. I'm not Laura Kate Dale.
And I'm not Jane Aerith Magnet, and welcome to another episode of Queer and Pleasant Strangers, that podcast where 2 queer trans ladies just have a bit of a giggle. Let's talk about a week, have a bit of a giggle, do some sillies.
Yeah.
How are you doing this week?
I'm tired.
Same. We had a weekend.
That we did.
It felt quite a long one.
Yeah, it didn't help that we only had 2 hours sleep on Saturday.
Yeah, we had a nice long chat into the night, but we had an interesting old weekend.
Oh yeah.
We spent some time in a basement that had a fog machine and laser lights. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
There was a
really
hammock.
Good acoustics.
All very good acoustics. There was a hammock. There was a JPEG that was quite interesting.
It was a very, very interesting still image.
It was definitely very
still
much
image.
a still image.
Good.
That wasn't moving.
Nope.
It was a very interesting old time.
Mm-hmm.
So, where do we want to start this week?
Well, we did a thing. We went to Brighton for a reason.
Oh.
For a raisin.
For a raisin? What
Yes.
was the raisin?
We went to that trans pride.
Is this going in the what we've put in our eyes section? Or is this a...
We participated in it, so I guess
Is
you
that-
could
is
say
that
we
played?
played/watched it.
Maybe
This is
the,
just like
maybe
our
the,
week.
The we interacted with section,
I guess.
I suppose. Yes, Trans Pride Brighton we went to.
It was very good.
Yeah, we had
The biggest we've ever had.
Yeah, we went along with some lovely cis ally friends who were very supportive and sort of cheered us on as we went marching down the street doing protest chants.
And we met some other trans friends who
Yeah.
we largely know from the internet.
Indeed, we met some nice people.
Yes.
It felt pretty empowering to walk down the street with like hundreds, maybe thousands of people just like storming down the streets being like, ha ha ha, there are many more of us than you.
There are many, many more of us than you.
It was very nice seeing the cars slowing down to like,
Honk, honk.
cheer,
Yeah, we got lots of honks.
They're like good honks from people
Good
who were
honks.
smiling. It was very nice.
Yeah.
Then we all got to a park and we had a nice chill out.
Yep.
We heard some very impactful poetry.
And some good music.
Some good
I saw a
music.
nice performance piece that I'll come back to later.
I started watching that performance piece and was like, this is a bit much for me today.
It's quite heavy going, that thing.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that performance piece?
Well, we can't start with watched, can we?
Okay.
We'll come back to that.
But-
And we saw some performances, and we went looked at the stalls, and they're coming to arrest us, apparently.
They're coming to arrest us. We're talking too much about the secret transness.
The secret trans cabal. And I didn't see any protesty sort of counter-protest
I didn't
stuff.
see any nasty people. In fact, quite the opposite. I saw a lovely amount of like cis
So many
lesbians with like very trans inclusive messages. Like right near the start of the walk, I remember there was a woman that had a sign pointing down at herself, and it was something like, lovely old lesbian who reckons trans women should be here.
Yeah.
Or like old lesbian who likes trans women. I was like,
Yay.
oh, lovely. Like there was a lot of
Lots of L with the T.
L with the T signs. There was a lot of just like queer solidarity with trans people. There was a lot of folks that clearly, I don't think would have normally come out, but were like, no, screw it, we're going to show up and show our support.
Yeah, and hopefully that will just continue and continue. We might need a bigger park next year.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Maybe next year they'll let us have Preston Park, because this year Preston Park was full of 420 Pride?
Yes, it was Green Pride, the Cannabis Pride Festival, which was
interestingly on the same day as Scarnival. So if you want to go and listen to some ska and protest in support of weed, I don't think.
Are you suggesting there was weed at the Weed Pride?
I didn't suggest that at all. I suggest that they were protesting in support of it. It was probably quite a lot of weed.
Probably.
I mean, like, walking through Brighton, I smelled weed several times. So...
I smelled a lot of weed while we were in the Trans Pride March, if I'm honest.
Did you?
Yeah, I was having a chat with one of the stewards at one point, and they were like, pretty sure I smell some weed. I was like, I don't know what you're on about. Everyone here is very well behaved. See, he. So that was the crux of our weekend before we had an interesting weekend in a friend's back garden. It was very...
Yeah, had a lovely time in the sun, drinking gin and chatting bollocks.
We chatted a lot of bollocks. We saw a lot of very nice, colourful things, and we drank a lot of gin. Yeah.
That we did.
Should we talk about what we played this week?
What did you play this week?
What did I play?
What did you play?
I played a bunch more Fortnite. I'm still playing Fortnite.
Are you the best at Fortnite now?
No.
Are you most of the way through your battle pass?
I'm like halfway through or something, which is like a decent chunk, because I think it goes on for like 10 weeks, and it's like 2-3 weeks in, and I'm like a good chunk of the way in.
Okay, well that does kind of answer a question I'd sort of been wondering about the battle pass. Like, would you have to buy it right at the beginning of the month to make it work? The month of the beginning of the battle pass to make it worth it?
Here's where I'm at. Since Fortnite came out on Switch back at E3, which is what, like 6 weeks ago or so,
Something like that, yeah.
Oh my god, E3 was like 6 weeks ago. That's terrifying. I had a look at my Switch's save data, and apparently I've played a little over 50 hours of that game, which is quite a lot. That's like half of a JRPG length that I've gotten out of a free game. Yeah. Like, I think I've spent £6 on Fortnite for that battle pass.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all, and in about 50 hours of play, having bought one of the battle passes, I've unlocked probably about 3 new character skins, a lot of emotes and like little things like, I've got different gliders and different backpacks and like little bits of unlocking. I've got the pick that looks like it's made out of twisty modelling balloons. But yeah, like the big bits, which is like the character skins. I think I've unlocked 3 female skins and 1 male skin. And one of those male skins, the more I play, the more like I'm unlocking variants for it, which is quite cool. But yeah, it's doing a very good job of every couple of hours being like, here's another free thing that makes you look quite cool.
It's not really 3, is it? You paid £6 for it.
Yeah. But you know what I mean. It's like, here's another thing that you're not paying for this specific item. We're dropping here's a thing because you played some more. It's very good at making it feel like, I'll just jump in for another couple of matches because I'm very close to getting another little cosmetic thing. So for the £6 I've put into it, I'm definitely getting my money's worth out of Fortnite.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. What you played?
I played some Go Vacation.
How are you getting on with Go Vacation? Actually, what's our embargo? Do we have an embargo on Go Vacation? Let's find out. Do I have a Go Vacation embargo? The 26th. Yeah, we can talk about Go Vacation.
So I played some Go Vacation. It's alright. It's about 40-something games of varying types. They're not super in-depth. It's like if Wii Sports had been that many more games.
It's a big sports minigame collection that you can play with your Miis, but you don't have them all unlocked at the start, do you?
No, you have to play through basically all of them to unlock them to play in free play mode. So that's all done now if I should ever want to play with other people. I have a feeling like it would be more fun with people, as is often the case.
So
but
are these all multiplayer minigames, are they? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure all of them can be played multiplayer. The only things I'm not entirely sure about would be things like the races. So you'll have like water bike races or whatever you call them, like jet skis. then you've got like all-terrain vehicles in one of the later areas, and that wasn't actually a bad racing. But apart from the fact that there's no set like track, there's no like, you know, in most racing games, even if it's designed to look like it's in a city, there will be like signs going, "Hey, head this way."
Yeah.
And this is like, there is an arrow on the map. Get to it.
How much time do you reckon, if you had to ballpark, you had to spend to unlock all the mini games for free play?
3 or 4 hours, I would reckon.
Okay.
And a lot of the games, I was just like, all I have to do is play this once. I don't even have to win it, and then come back out of it, and it will give me a stamp for that and let me move on to the next thing.
So, I feel like you're sort of like, alright.
Yeah, there were a couple of games I quite liked. Things like the volleyball was quite fun. Tennis was okay. I'd be interested to see if there's other controls for it. I've only been playing that one in full control mode. And I feel like maybe if that was in like motion control, that'd be more interesting. The fishing was all motion control, so you like sling your hook with the like right Joy-Con and then sort of pull it back to set, and then you sort of waggle the left con around like you're reeling it in.
And all these games, like, they're not designed to be playable in handheld mode, are they?
You can't really play any of them in handheld. They're either designed to be played in tabletop or in TV mode.
Yeah. You're meant to be able to move your hands around.
Yeah.
Independently.
Well, I mean, like, some of them are just like, you, like I think surfing, you just sort of tap Y to get near the wave, and then you press A to jump up, and then, like, it's just tapping buttons. There's no, well, there's a little bit of waving, like, waggle the right Joy-Con while holding the right stick in one direction, and it will do a trick. It's not super intuitive or interesting.
There's some games you could maybe make work, but in general, you're not supposed to play it in handheld.
Yeah, I just about managed to get skydiving to work in handheld.
Yeah,
because all you have to do is sort of tilt the sticks, tilt the cons in sort of a mutual direction to make your character drift into the right position. And there's not really a lot to that, but that one just about worked.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I need to stick a bit more time into that.
Well, if you want to just play games, you can always play
I might just jump in on your save,
Yeah. If you played anything else.
Let's have a look. Did I play anything else? I started playing Octopath Traveler.
Ooh.
That new Switch JRPG. It's quite a good classic RPG. You got 8 different characters you can play as, who all have their own gimmicks. So the one I was playing as today is this warrior, and the start of his story is basically, hey, I was meant to protect the king, but someone managed to kill the king, so I felt a bit shitty about my job as a warrior. I went and hid in a little town somewhere. Turns out that clues to who killed the king showed up in this town. I'm gonna go off on an adventure now. Adventure! The voice acting initially threw me a little bit. The English language voice acting has a couple of characters who are just a bit cheerio, I'm British.
Right, Governor.
A little bit of that going on. I got over it quickly enough, and you can just switch the entire language track to Japanese if you prefer. The Japanese language audio is quite good from what I've seen. But it's a very traditional JRPG. This warrior character can challenge literally any NPC to a fight, and there's quite often humorous dialogue for like, I'm gonna challenge a shopkeeper to a fight. Fight me, shopkeeper. Which is quite strange.
Did you get anything for doing that?
You can get things for starting fights with people. You can find ways around situations by like, haha, I'm not going to do this the way the quest wants me to. I'm just going to challenge this person to a fight and skip around the quest a bit.
Right.
There's some interesting stuff in the combat mechanics for the warrior. You've got this whole mechanic where every turn that you don't use a special attack, you can build up this meter. At which point you can power up your standard attack to do like, I'm going to do 5 standard attacks in a row in one action turn, because I waited X number of turns before using this. So you can sort of build up this multi-attack meter, and it feels really cool. It looks really good. It's got a great soundtrack. I feel like this might be a lot of my time going into Octopath.
Mm.
So yeah, what about you?
I've started playing Reigns, Her Majesty.
Oh, I know the person that wrote that.
I know you do.
Yeah, Lee Alexander. She's lovely.
It's a good game.
It's a good
And
game,
you
yeah.
can tell her that.
Yeah, it's a good game. Cards on the table, I know the person that wrote it, but I still think it's a good game.
Well, I'm enjoying it, certainly. Yeah, it's on sale on the Play Store at the moment, so...
Yeah.
And I've been looking for a new mobile phone, because I've been rather stuck in threes recently. And...
A new mobile phone game.
Yeah, you know what I meant. Yeah, new mobile phone game. So it's basically you are the newly appointed queen, and you have to make decisions about your kingdom, and try and keep your king vaguely happy, and the church happy, and the people happy, and the military happy, and stuff. And if anything gets too high or too low, you are dead.
And it's all done by swiping just left or right on a series of cards.
Yep, it is the Tinder of decision making.
Yes, it's literally just yes or no, left or right on complex decisions.
Yeah, well, it's not always yes or no. Sometimes you will
Yeah.
be sort of piloting your way around a maze, or deciding whether or not to have somebody hanged, or
Yeah, it's very easy to just sort of one-handedly sort of flick through playing a bit.
yeah, and it's fun. Sort of as you get further through it, you'll get new characters, and those new characters will give new cards, which means new things can happen in your next playthrough.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit randomised, and the church don't seem to like my style of play very much.
Yeah.
So I do get sort of burned at the stake quite a lot.
Much like reality, the church, bit
Doesn't
iffy
really
about
improve
some of
me.
your choices.
Yeah, and there was an option to run away with another woman.
Oh,
That was
hello.
fun. Yeah, we eloped. It was lovely.
Oh.
Until we died of misery and arguments.
Oh.
Apparently lesbians aren't allowed to be happy in that game. Or at least not in the way that I made it happen. Anyway, but yeah, that was a bit of Reigns Her Majesty. I would definitely recommend that.
Heck.
What else you got?
I started playing Semblance, which is a platform game where you can deform the environment.
Alright.
Yeah, so let's say there's two vertical walls sort of next to each other, and in a lot of platformers you'd be able to wall jump. In this, you don't have a wall jump, but what you can do is jump up and dash to the side into the wall, and it'll make a dent in the wall, and then you can just kind of stand in that dent, and then jump and dash into the other wall and make a dent in that one, and slowly make little dents in the wall that you can jump up from one to the next. So it's all about working out how can I make sort of bumps in the environment that will help me to traverse how I get around.
And can you over damage the world?
You can, and you can, let's say you've damaged a wall too much and can't do what you need to do with it. You can sort of reset that whole wall back to how it started and try again. You can't undo just one dent you made in a wall, which is a bit of a shame. If you're I've done perfectly. Oh, I screwed up this final little bit. I have to reset the whole puzzle and start from the beginning, which can be a bit frustrating.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there'll be a thin wall and you dent it and you're that's not right. I'll go around the other side to where it's bulging out and knock it back in. That doesn't work.
Oh no.
Also, it's a little bit glitchy. Occasionally I got stuck into the environment. It's clearly a little bit unpolished, but I've played about an hour and a half of it so far, and it's consistently throwing really interesting ideas at me.
Okay.
It's finding a lot of very unique uses for the mechanics.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to keep that up for its whole runtime. I believe it's about 4 hours or so, but I'm having a lot of fun. It's unique and interesting. I certainly haven't played another platformer quite like it, so yeah, that's Semblance.
Marvellous.
What about you?
Played some 2 Point Hospital.
Oh, you've been playing the preview build of that, haven't you?
It's fucking awesome.
How much of it you played so far?
I am on the last level of the demo.
Yes, because it's the first
Four
four
levels.
levels that we've got at the demo.
4 levels. It's Theme Hospital, as I expected and wanted.
It's a bit polished up. It's got some nice visuals and sounds.
It's polished. It's modern. You
some
can
new
make
jokes.
rooms that don't have to be square. There's some new variants of the different diseases.
But it's basically Theme Hospital.
Anyone who's played Theme Hospital will recognise Theme Hospital, and anyone who hasn't should give it a go, because it's fun running a hospital.
It's a very silly, like, it looks very much like The Sims, sort of top-down, manage a bunch of these little people.
Yeah.
But they will have very silly diseases.
It's a god game, and 2 Point Studios have been talking about, like, the fact they want to get back to that. We are the people who make god games, like
the sort
Populous and...
Yeah, the sort of stuff that was it like Bullfrog that used to do that?
Yeah, it was Bullfrog, Theme Park, Theme Hospital, Theme Park World, before you sort of got involved in all that.
But you're enjoying it.
I'm really enjoying it, and it ramps up difficulty quite quickly.
Yeah, you're on the 4th level and it's already like, ooh.
Well, there's already a situation where basically it's almost impossible to hire from scratch doctors who have like useful skills.
Oh, is this where you were having to do training?
So I'm having to do training, so you need a training room. You need enough spare doctors that you can be training people up and still have people running GP surgeries and sort of other...
You need excess staff.
You need excess staff so that you can afford to have 3 to 5 people sat in a training room. Initially, you'll have to pay like 10 grand out to hire an outside expert to train your staff. But once somebody's got that skill, they can teach it to somebody else.
Yeah.
And that includes, like, you could have, say, your like receptionist, and they might be particularly good at motivating or customer service, which cheers the patients up. And obviously that's a good skill for anyone to have. So you could have that person teach the lesson to like a bunch of doctors, and then they can later on perhaps disseminate it out to other people.
Heck.
But yeah, and also you've got to sort of keep promoting people and seeing them upgrade.
It's a lot of managing a lot of moving parts.
There's a lot of managing a lot of moving parts, and the fact that you can pause is sort of very necessary. And that's like, I need to make some literally split-second decisions.
You've been excited for this for a while. I'm really glad that you're enjoying it so far.
I'm really glad that they've done such a good job with it, and it stayed so true to sort of theme hospital, which is what they were aiming for, and I think what a lot of people wanted
was just do Theme Hospital again.
More of that.
Good new Theme Hospital plus.
Yeah, I mean it's got a few new features, and I'm sure there will be more stuff as it goes on. But I'm really enjoying everything I've got so far.
Yay! That's really good.
Yeah.
Huzzah! You played anything else?
Have you not played anything else?
I don't think so.
I played a bit more Basingstoke. I streamed a bit more Basingstoke. I'm so close to escaping the level after the police station.
Huzzah! It's a tough old game, isn't it?
It really is. But then that's puppy games all over, like Revenge of the Titans, Attack of the Titans, something like that. It was like one of their first games, and that game is an RTS, but it is nailed hard. So yeah, it's pretty typical for them, and yeah, looking forward to more Basingstoke.
Nice. Is that your playlist?
That's all my playlist.
Oh heck. Well, in that case, here's the next thing. Okay, so GPS. Right, heading to directions to location. Adventure. I'm heading to adventure. There we go. GPS.
In 500 yards, head left on Hijinks. Take the 3rd exit to Shenanigans, past exploits and escapades. Warning: there's a traffic buildup on mischief and rascality. Rerouting via tomfoolery, antics, capers, and silliness. Have arrived at your adventure nation.
Ah, there we go. Wasn't that an adventure?
I forgot my sword again.
Fine. We're gonna have to reroute our whole journey back through silliness.
Plotting journey to tavern.
All I'm trying to say is, like, can't we as a species just be nice to each other? Like, can we not just agree that we should be nice?
You bloody socialist kiddies these days. Nice? You want to be nice? I think Fabergé eggs are nice, but we can't give every poor person one of those now, can we?
all I'm saying is that, like, we're very squishy as a species. Like, doesn't it just make sense to keep each other healthy?
Healthy?
Yeah, just free healthcare.
Free healthcare. We'll just pull up free healthcare. What next? We're on the slippery slope to free everything, are we? Free housing?
Yes, I'd quite like that as a concept. Why can't we just... If there are things that we need as humans to survive that we will die without, surely we should make sure everyone has those?
I have a good argument for that. Your hat's not very good. You have bad fashion, and therefore your argument is bad. Bad.
I don't understand what your problem is. Do you not want people to just be able to live and not die? I don't see why you would have a problem with people living and not being dead.
Well, back in my day, people died all the time. We didn't have any problems with that. It's always worked before, of course. Always worked before, and then you're saying that it shouldn't keep working in the future. Well,
I don't think it worked. People were dying.
People were dying, but that's what God wants, and I'm appealing to the divine at this point.
I'm gonna go try and talk to someone who's actually gonna hear some sense.
You can't walk away from my fallacies!
So, what have we watched this week?
Well, we sat down with Amy after Trans Pride and we listened to some stuff. Well, we watched some music videos that were really fucking intense.
They were intense in that particular moment.
They're quite intense now.
They're quite intense now. So we watched, what was it, Contrast?
Contrast? Dance?
Yes, Dance by Contrast, which is kind of a mix of metal and dance music with a bunch of, like, slightly Uncanny Valley CGI lederhosen dancing men. It's a very strange thing.
Are they CGI?
They look kind of... They're human people, but their bodies look kind of CGI. I don't think their bodies are real, but I think the heads are real.
Okay.
Maybe that was just the weird experience I was having of it when we were watching it the other night. But, yeah...
There's some good moustaches, isn't it? There's some good lederhosen.
Yes, those moustaches were making me think of System of a Down. They're very, like, Serge Tankian looking faces.
I don't know.
There was that main guy with the big moustache who...
big and bushy.
Yes, he just reminded me of the main guy from System of a Down.
I'm not seeing it, but there you go.
I don't know. But yes, it's a very simple song.
Yeah.
Dance, and maybe you'll turn me on.
And we also watched the Less Listened To. Because I'm just not angry enough for that level of death metal.
We muted the audio.
We did. We watched the Meshuggah video for Clockworks, which is really cool.
That's a lot of very intricate, detailed visual things happening.
Yeah, it reminds me of those infinity... What are they called? Like infinity loops or something? They were very popular, like maybe 5-10 years ago now.
Yeah.
And you used to sort of get an image and it would pull back or zoom into and zoom in 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 just forever. Yeah. And eventually loop back around to the beginning. And this was more sort of the pulling back version of that. And you were going from sort of these little strange landscapes to sort of more detailed, intricate parts and getting further and further back. And each one of these images turned out to be just a giant
the surface
head.
of a bigger thing.
Yeah, sort of fractally in that respect.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah, we were just finding very strange looking music videos to look at.
Yes.
We watched the thing together at the weekend as well. We binge watched a new Netflix original series called Final Space.
Final Space.
How would you describe Final Space?
Gory, violent, bleak, sad, but with a lot of heart. Some cute creatures.
It's funny as well. It was.
It's funny.
It's got a real.
It's really dark.
It's really dark, but not needlessly so. Like, I think that there was a point. Like, every time they did something dark, it was for a point, and they had a narrative payoff to it that was interesting.
Yeah, like. Each episode sort of starts as what is very clearly, after about the second episode, a flashback from what is probably going to be the last episode.
Yes, because it's 10 episodes long as a series, and it's like, there's 10 minutes until bad thing happens.
Until you've
9
run out of
minutes
air.
until bad thing happens. It's like, oh, okay, so the final episode's gonna be
We're going to
kind
find
of...
out, how he got in
Yeah.
this situation.
How is he floating in space with his oxygen running out, going very cold, with not much time and not much chance of surviving?
Yeah.
Let's watch a 10-episode comedy to see how he gets there.
Yeah, and it reminds me of how Red Dwarf, like in that first episode with the, like, obviously everyone dying, very much did, like, it's a bleak situation you're in.
Yeah.
And, they're not afraid to kill people off in that either.
Yeah, but, like, again, it doesn't feel pointless. Like, it
No.
feels like it's done with a real reverence for, like, the weight of that choice. Like, the person who made this feels like he understands the weight of killing a character off and to not do it frivolously.
Yeah. Like, I mean, obviously there's numerous bad guys that get it, but killing off a hero character, or even one of the big enemies, would be quite a thing, so...
This show does things where, like, any show other than this I would expect to walk it back.
Yeah.
And it even plays with that a bit. Like, there's a couple of episodes where it's like, ooh, this is how they're gonna walk it back. This is how they're gonna undo the sad thing. No, they're not gonna undo the sad thing.
No.
No, you just have to live with that.
But Mooncake's adorable.
Mooncakes adorable. So yeah, it's about this guy who's trapped on a prison ship.
He's
Serving,
the only prisoner
serving a 5-year sentence on this prison ship, and
for destroying 92 of his
like
home planet's
military
fighter
ships. Yes,
and a Mexican
a
restaurant.
not very good, slightly mediocre Mexican restaurant. Yeah, and he likes to believe he's more important than he is, and then he finds this cute, adorable little alien puffball called Mooncake.
Yes.
Yes, Mooncake, who is adorable, and I would die for Mooncake. Mooncake is adorable.
I too would die for Mooncake.
I want a
Mooncake is adorable.
Mooncake plush. I don't know if they exist.
They probably will soon enough.
Yeah, so this started as just like a short several years ago. I went back and watched that short. It's really good. It's worth watching that short that inspired it. Maybe we'll watch it after we finish recording.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't recommend that enough. It's
good. Might want some tissues for it in places, but yeah, it's definitely one I would recommend.
it ramps. It ramps really gradually though. Like it doesn't get bleak out of nowhere.
No, well, no.
I think that like it justifies its gradual curve to bleak.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good old show. One thing I will say, it's been greenlit for a second series already, which...
So we might find out what happens.
Well, I'm kind of happy about that, because it was a really good show, and I'm excited for more. There's a little bit of me that's sad about that, because the way that show ends, I would have been really okay with it ending that way. Because, like, if it had ended, like, 3 or 4 seconds before it did, and they'd just been like, this is the series, this is what it is, I'd have been really okay with that, as it just being its own contained thing.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of me that is maybe sad that, like, that ending is maybe the one place where it feels like it walks back a tough choice it made.
Did it? We don't know what happens.
We don't know, but, like, it implies maybe it's gonna... The fact there's a second season suggests maybe a bit of a walk back, I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see. I don't know if I'm happy or not that there's a second season, but I will definitely watch a second season. And I will hope for it to be this good again.
And we watched some of the making of on YouTube, because that's there, and it's in entirety in a series of sort of 10-ish minute episodes. And they mention in there that one of the influences was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I am very okay with.
It feels very inspired by that.
Yeah.
That creator seems very interesting. I'm intrigued by them.
Yeah, they like to tell a story, and because even the sort of making of is done as this sort of like, I will tell you a tale, and it's done in quite an amusing way.
He's a very captivating storyteller.
Yeah, in the silliest way.
I will very much keep track of like what this guy does after Final Space, because I want to see more creative things from this person.
Yeah.
Yeah. You watched anything else?
We watched the fucking teaser trailer for the Steven Universe movie.
So, also, I don't know, that's another one I don't know how I feel about that. I'm excited for the prospect of a big old, like, very lengthy Steven Universe movie.
But it could be the finale.
A, it could be the finale, and B, is this going to even further slow down the rate of actual release of episodes from the season?
Maybe the reason the rate of episodes from the season has been so slow is because the animator's working on a feature film?
Maybe,
because that's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. That's my only reservation. Here's the thing, that's my reservation, but, like, I will totally go see a Steven Universe movie and I will fucking love it, so... I want this movie. Also, that new episode.
Yeah, we watched the new episode. We'll talk about that next week, though.
Yeah, no spoilers, but things. That show is going places.
It is. Towards a movie, in fact.
What else did I watch? I started watching Parks and Recreation, which is a series I've never... It's a series that I've seen mentioned on Tumblr so often. I've seen so many GIFs from it.
I've seen GIFs.
Never watched it. I'm like, no, Ron Swanson's from this, and he seems quite amusing as a character. It's basically a sitcom-type show about a woman who works in a local government Parks and Recreations office, who is basically trying to get a big hole in the ground filled in and turned into a park. And she is not very good at local government, and it is the sort of perils and tribulations of, all these people who are not very good at local government trying to do a very basic thing and not doing it very well. It's very odd seeing Chris Pratt in this. This is clearly from before Chris Pratt was quite such a huge deal. He does a very good job in it. I like all the cast. All of the cast in it have been pretty funny. I'm like a season and a half in, and I've yet to come across any humour that feels aged. None of it feels like, oh, this is clearly a few years old and pretty unwoke.
Okay.
So, I've not yet come across any non-woke stuff.
That's good.
There was an episode in which two penguins were married as a publicity stunt, and then it turns out that they're gay penguins, and the Parks and Recreation lady is like, no, I'm not going to unmarry these penguins, and, like, stands up for penguin gay marriage. So, like, it seems, at least, like, what I've seen so far hasn't been unwoke, and that's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
I was fully expecting the normal, like, oh, it's a sitcom from, like, the 2000s that I've not seen before. There's gonna be an anti-trans joke in the first season, because there always is. But there wasn't!
We shall see.
Not-
Well, hopefully they go on as started.
Yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. I forget the actor who plays Ron Swanson, but he's hilarious. Aziz Ansari's in it, he's really funny. There's a lot of good people in it. You watched anything else?
I went and saw that Immigrant People of Colour theatre piece at Trans Pride.
Yes, the one that I had to leave because I was like, nope, too much for me.
It was a lot. But I felt that was kind of the point and really important.
It was very much the point. I feel bad that I could not stay in there. Just I was not in the headspace at that moment.
It's very, very emotionally charged. It's basically a theatre group. 3 people tell the stories of 3 immigrants from different parts of the world and sort of the persecution they had in their own countries, and then trying to come to the UK as immigrants, and obviously the struggles you have to go through to deal with the immigration services, and like obviously these are mostly sort of queer people, so it's a case of can you prove that you're a lesbian? Otherwise, if you can't, then we'll just send you home. At which point, this person's already had their name splashed all over the media. So if they go home, everyone there is going to think that they're, or know that they're gay, and then this is going to cause even more problems for them.
Well, what if they're lying about it and just saying they're gay for no reason, etc.?
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
What does it matter? Let's just
Exactly.
be nice to people.
Just if you're willing to do that to try and get here, you pretty fucking want to be here. Just come in.
Yeah, and then there was a bit where one of the people was talking about the fact that they were at one point actually on a plane about to be sent back, and they'd come to sort of go, I guess I accept that. There's nothing I can do. And last minute they got pulled back off again because some sort of some lawyers who'd been working on her behalf had managed to come through and get a reprieve. But that was like twice she was on a plane or nearly on a plane.
Coming to terms with, I'm going to have to go back to my country.
And I'm probably going to be dead very shortly thereafter. And obviously as a trans person and at a trans event, it's very like it's something one can relate to when you've spent a lot of time waiting for people to sign bits of paperwork to say you can go and live your life.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a heck of a thing.
Yeah, I didn't get the name of the group, unfortunately, but it was powerful and I think important, and I wish them every luck with the rest of that touring event.
Yeah. Did you watch anything else?
No.
Okay then. Time for another thing.
Hello, and welcome to another public information film. Today we'll be discussing the summer.
Indeed. Many people get excited about the prospect of summer arriving in the British Isles. Every time, oh, wonderful, the sun is coming out, this will be very enjoyable.
Unfortunately, British homes are designed for keeping the heat in, rather than letting it out.
Indeed, when you pair this with humidity and high temperatures, what you get is actually a rather unenjoyable experience.
Exactly. The British rely solely on tea. This is not very pleasant when you are in scorching hot weathers of approximately 33 degrees centigrade.
Indeed. If you are recording a podcast, you may even have to do so with a fan on and a window open, getting the sounds of cars going past just to survive, because British homes are not designed to go above about 20 degrees Celsius.
Indeed. People might think that summer is most fun with pins and picnics and toodle-pip what, but in actual fact, it is melty, sweaty, horrible, unpleasant misery.
So, next time you hear a British person complaining about a temperature that you feel is not that hot, bear in mind, our homes are heat traps, and we are designed to melt to death.
Inside the boardroom of Electronic Actisoft.
Right. So I've called this meeting because I was walking through London the other day.
Yeah.
And I saw that there was this Pride Parade going on.
Sure.
And there were a lot of businesses what I saw cashing in on Pride, putting flags up in windows and getting more customers and stuff. So
glitter in the milkshakes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So while we're corporatizing Pride Parades, I was wondering, how can we make video games gay without upsetting the people that don't like gay stuff in video games?
Sure, we want to get the pink pound, but we don't want to upset the Russians.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
So first idea I actually kind of stole from this TV show, Steven Universe.
Sure.
So
that's just rife with lots of good gay stuff.
So what
the gay kids
love. What you do is you make a gay couple where one of one of them presents little gender non-conforming.
Sure.
And then you just switch their pronouns for Russia. Exactly. Anyone that doesn't like the gays, you just switch the pronouns and go, nah, it's fine. They're a straight couple.
You're a fucking genius.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe even make the straight version the default, but they gotta turn gay mode on.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we could have whole gay modes. We could, we could ask people's sexuality when they're signing up for our online services, and if they put in that they're gay, perhaps we can make rainbows flash up on their screen and stuff, and if someone happens to answer a few questions suggesting that they are a raging homophobe, then perhaps we can make that sort of just disappear from their version. Sure.
Indeed, and I think like if we do things like we hide the gays in the DLC.
Sure.
We allude to them in letters where, like, the gays will know that we're saying they're gay, but, like, the people that are homophobic, they can just be like, nah, it's not confirmed. It's interpreted different.
And expanded universe stuff, too. I think maybe if we have, like, a comic book that ties in with our product, then, we'll hide, that one of the main female characters, that they're in a lesbian relationship, but we'll make no allusion to that whatsoever in the main game. And I think that'll probably get some people on board, get some more of that good pink dough flowing in.
Maybe we go even further. We follow the J.K. Rowling route. We just tweet that they're gay.
Sure.
Like, we never allude to it in any media. We just tweet they're gay.
Is there any way we can hide that from the dangerous fanboy types? Because they can get real upset with us about these
Well, what
things.
we do is we tweet that they're gay, and then about 5 minutes later we delete the tweet, because then it can be
Sure.
denied by the homophobes, but the
Nice.
gays will be like, no, it happened.
Sure. Yeah, I like that.
I think this has been a productive meeting.
Nice,
we were gonna scrape that rainbow money for all we can get.
Oh, yeah. So much rainbow money. What did you put in your ears?
Me ears.
In your ears.
Me ears.
Your ears.
Your ears. I listened to a bunch of stuff and I don't remember what most of it was. I'm going to follow your lead. What did we listen to this weekend?
We listened to a 2-hour chill step mix.
Oh, was that the one that had the picture that we looked at?
That was the one that had the picture that
Yeah.
we looked at, that I've now ordered a canvas print of because it was such a nice picture.
And it's a still image, isn't it?
It is a still image.
It is
yeah.
a still image.
Well, it will be when it's printed, certainly. We do not live in Harry Potter, dear.
No, we don't live in a world of moving images. Of
No.
course we don't. That would be silly.
Indeed.
Uh,
There was a track in there that I had to sort of run around the house desperately trying to find both my handbag and my phone.
Because you wanted to Shazam it.
I just took a picture of the playlist and found that the track is Kilgrew by Kilgrew, and the track is called Human, and it's really beautiful.
We listened back to it the following morning and, ooh, it's good.
It's beautiful. It's sort of got some nice sort of bright, really clean piano in it, and then just like it's like a chill step beat. So that it tends to be not a broken beat, but just like you sometimes get with dubstep, but just like a really slow sort of that style of beat. And then it's got this sort of haunting synth in it that's a bit like Digital Whale Song, I think.
It's a little bit alien, a little bit floaty.
Yeah, and it's got a certain melancholy to it, but it's really beautiful.
It's really good.
Um,
We listened to that album that's got Shock One.
we listened to Universus.
Yes, Universus we listened to.
Yeah.
That's a good album.
That is a good
I think
album.
we've talked about that album before.
I think we've talked about some of it. Definitely recommend off of their Big Bounce, Chaos Theory, Laser Beam, Light Cycles, and Prelude. But you have to listen to those two together, definitely.
It flows really well as a full album. Like,
Yeah.
if you listen to it start to finish, it does a really good job of building up your energy nicely to
Yeah.
like get that dance into you.
Yeah, because Laser Beam's quite late on, and that's drum and bass, so it's nice to get sort of up to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you've got things like Light Cycles with Prelude. It sounds almost sort of Vangelis-y, and then sort of moves on to this beautiful progressive synth piece that's really good.
Yeah. What else did we listen to?
We listened to Global Underground, Templehead.
Oh, yes.
It's sort of bouncy breaks and really sort of positive, upbeat singing about unity and passing shit on to the next generation and goodness.
Positive things.
Positive things.
The world can improve.
And we used to listen to it a lot at a dance party we went to a lot. So I put that on for our friend who was with us, who also used to go to that event.
He was good.
Yeah, she had a good wiggle.
She had a really good wiggle. It was brilliant. Like, yes!
Made
you stomp. And then after that, I put on Morikante, Yeke Yeke, which the hard floor mix rather than the original. Not that there aren't like a bajillion really good mixes of Yeke Yeke. But no, it was originally released in 1987.
Oh,
And it was one of Africa's most powerful singles of the time, and probably even to this day. It's weird. Yeah. It's a good song. If you can Google the lyrics, it's very difficult to find proper translation. Because it's... I can't remember what the language is or how it's pronounced. I wrote it down somewhere, but not on this bit of paper. I think the name of the language translates to something like hidden language. So it can be quite difficult to find like a proper translation. A few exist, and it's all about being like somebody's bright shining star or something like that.
Aww.
It's good, very positive. So yeah, any version of Yeke Yeke. Anything else?
I think that's everything for me.
I listened to the new Miracle of Sound, Death of Rock and Roll.
Oh, yes.
It's very good. Not
It
a
is
good
very
one from
good.
Gaffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's working on another new song,
Woo.
which I can mention this because he mentioned it on the Podquisition we recorded today that'll be up before this. He's writing a song kind of about God of War and kind of about his own struggles at being less angry all the time. So it's an interesting thing.
It's good. And Gav got engaged this week.
Yeah, he
Congratulations,
did.
Gav.
Congrats, Gav. He got engaged to his cutie.
Yeah, I thought they'd been like.
They've been together for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. He's
so
been
they're definitely sure they're committed at this point.
he's been a bit slow to get around to it, but he did the engage.
That's so cute. Yay.
So is that it for listen?
That's it for listen. So you know what happens next.
Hi. Are you the person that was here to fix the boiler?
Yeah. I'm here to fix your boiler. Not one of them trans people, are you?
I am trans. I don't entirely know how that's relevant to my boiler not heating the water properly.
Well, of course, it could be one of them trans broken boilers. You know, you want to make absolutely sure that you do need the parts. You know, you don't. It's a lifetime change to have heat in your property.
Well, the boiler's just. It's flashing up an error message that says this is why it's not creating hot water. That seems pretty, self-evident. I wouldn't think this would need too much over-explanation.
Well, I mean, obviously you say that, but as a trans person, I have to be absolutely sure, I don't want to rush into anything, cause any long-term problems for you. So, what I suggest is I'll give Dave a ring, we'll get him round for a second opinion. But at the moment, I'm not sure I can sign you off because, although you say your boiler's broken, you don't really look cold enough, and we do have to be absolutely sure.
Well, okay, I'll put a jumper on, and then will you fix my broken boiler?
Well, obviously that'll be like a start, but we'll have to see what Dave says. He might be a dual role coal person.
This sucks.
Fucking gatekeeping!
Gatekeeping for trans folks.
Oh goodness, dear Holmes. It's so hot.
Oh dear, it's okay. I found this fantastic new beverage.
Oh,
it's going to really
have sherry?
No, it's not a type of sherry this time. It's going
brandy, perhaps?
No, it's not even a brandy.
No, you're not on the vodka round.
No,
it's very common.
No. So I found this is one of the things that the commoners do drink, but this is wonderful stuff. If you drink enough of it, in this heat, it's very refreshing. It'll make you feel absolutely tip-top fantastic.
Oh, Pims.
No, it's not even Pims.
No.
It's
Really?
called.
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Ice cold water.
Doesn't ring a bell, dear.
No, I hadn't heard of it either, but apparently it's just the thing to get you through this meltingly humid heat.
I think I'm just going to stick to the sherry. No, it's much more my thing.
Well, that's fine, but I'm going to occasionally have a glass of water in between my sherries, because it does seem to be doing wonders for cooling me down.
What's the percentage alcohol on this cool water that you've been drinking?
It's certainly lower. It's lower than a sherry, I'll give you that.
Less than a sherry. Well,
Yes.
never thought I'd see the day it should become one of those lightweights. What?
Oh, well, yeah, I'll put it this way. I don't like the idea of heat stroke, dear.
Oh, I'd like any kind of stroke at my age, dear.
Question time. It's time for questions.
Questions?
It is.
What ones we got?
Sad wants to know. Laura, have either you or Jim discovered the non-free-to-play version of Fortnite? Everyone else praises Epic for the Battle Royale, which seemingly ignore the heavily criticised Save the World version.
Okay, so Save the World I've not really interacted with much because of the whole it's not on Switch thing, and Switch is where I play Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's very weird because, like, at this point you can only get Fortnite as a free-to-play digital download, but it was originally released as a boxed release, and it's one of those things that it was like the Founders Pack or whatever, where it's basically like, here, get it early with some DLC and pay for it, and then it'll go, like, knowing that it'll go free-to-play down the line. I've not really played Save the World. As best I understand it, it is a PvE rather than PvP, so you play against, here's some zombies coming in, make some bases with your friends and protect yourself. I'd be intrigued to try it. It's not on Switch, so I haven't looked.
It's on PC though, right?
It's on PC. I downloaded the PC client for Fortnite the other day. I tried playing one match and was like, oh no, everyone's really good on PC. And I backed out. I like playing on Switch where people aren't quite so good at the game.
Well, that'll be the whole...
People who are good with a mouse
People
and
with a keyboard
keyboard
and
are
mouse.
kind of fatally amazing, and I'm not good with a keyboard and mouse. So, I have not played much Save the World, sorry. I do know that people who have boxed copies of that game are trying to sell them for like hundreds of pounds on eBay at the moment.
Wowza, McJinkies.
Yeah. What are the questions we got?
Chris Lamont would like to know, how do you take your coffee?
I tend to go black, 1 sugar. How do you take yours?
Very white, no sugar. Or cold. Cold, lots of milk. Or maybe almond milk over ice.
Yeah.
Or ice cream. That's how I like my coffee. Coffee,
Okay.
ice cream. It's good.
What else we got?
Zaldera, what's a really bad joke that you heard recently?
Ooh, I'm going to have a think for a second. Have you got any that have come to mind?
I can't think of one I've heard recently, but there's one I tell often that's really fucking awful.
Okay, I've got one that I haven't heard recently, but it's my favourite terrible joke. So you go with yours, and then I'll do mine.
It's a joke I actually came up with a while ago, and rather than trying to make it better, I just tell it over and over and over again. And it's almost become a dread for the people that
Is
know
this
that joke.
I think I know which one this is.
Did you know?
Did I know? Yeah.
And that's usually all it takes to get whoever I'm telling the joke
I'm
to.
already groaning at it. I love it, but...
Did you know that a swan can break a person's arm with their wing? And when they do this, there'll probably be, a lot of bruising, maybe even a little bit of bleeding. And at that point, the swan will say to you, with this wing, I thee red.
It's terrible, and I love your terrible joke. So, my favourite terrible joke of all time, and I'm pretty sure I've told you this one, I've said it in some places before. I think I used to say this one on Dad's Jokes jingles back in the day. So there's a young man working in an orange factory, and this orange factory does two things. They put the oranges into bags, and they turn them into juice. And this young man is working in the bagging section, and he'd rather be making the oranges into juice. So he goes to his boss and says, can I please get a transfer from the bag section to the juice section? And his boss says, don't be ridiculous, baggers can't be juicers. Beggars can't be juicers. It's terrible and I love it. It's my favourite terrible joke.
It's an excellent one.
Yeah.
A dry erase board. That's remarkable.
That's remarkable. What's the next question?
Jason Lee, Laura, because everyone wants to talk to you, Laura.
Yeah.
Laura, what do you think is Watsky's best song?
Ooh, Watsky's best song. Let me have a quick search of Watsky so that I can have a mental refresh. Okay. I don't know if it's necessarily my favourite, but Sloppy Seconds is one that consistently makes me feel very positive when I hear it. It is a track that is basically about the beauty of imperfections, and that like imperfections basically show a life lived, and that, you know, chasing perfection only really serves to like be a bit too scared to really get into things and sort of just get knee deep into living life. It's just a really nice positive spin on imperfection. Nice. So I like that a lot. Let me have a quick look, see if there's any others I want to recommend while I'm here. Tiny Glowing Screens Part 2 is quite moving. It makes me occasionally do a little bit of a cry, because it's quite a powerful little track. And there's at least one more that it's annoying me I can't remember the name of. So I'm just going to scroll down this list until I find it. Hopefully. Why is it not near the top of this list? I really like it. It should be near the top. He's made a lot of music, apparently. Bet Against Me is not the one I was looking for, but that's quite a good one for being like, no, fuck you. I might be an underdog, but I'm gonna do the thing, and you're not gonna stop me. I'm gonna have to just Google the lyrics to this, because I know the lyrics to the song and I can't remember what it's called. Watsky lyrics: the sound of our sneeze is the same. It is Wounded Healer. So Wounded Healer is like kind of it's much more slow and melancholy than a lot of his tracks, and it's about Watsky's difficult relationship with his father, and not wanting to move on from that, even though he's got very mixed feelings about it. It's a very powerful track about sort of the little ways that you carry people with you. It's a really good track, so I guess it's not one track, but those are the Watsky tracks that I'm like, these are good.
And do you have any similar artists that you enjoy?
Trying to think of anyone that fits into that Watsky mould. I'm going to have a quick skim down with Spotify and see if anyone... It's a different genre of music, but tonally I feel like the Homeless Gospel Choir, at least in terms of lyrical composition, is pretty similar to Watsky. Nothing else jumping to mind. I would say the Homeless Gospel Choir, lyrical composition-wise, reminds me of Watsky.
Kel Goodall would like to know, what does the world need now, love or communism?
Why not both?
That is my answer also.
Why not loving commune?
A free love commune.
What other questions have we got?
Becky Toothill, what have you put in your mouth this week?
Ooh, what have we put? You just gave me a look, and I know what that look means. Tee-hee-hee, tee-hee-hee. What did we put in our mouth that we can talk about this week?
I mean, I can't say nipples. Okay. Gin. We put a lot of gin in our mouths.
Put a lot of gin in our mouths. We put a lot of Pims in our mouth.
Yeah, a lot of Skittles.
Yeah, we didn't eat for a while, and then we ate some Skittles.
You had some sausage rolls.
Ooh, I put some of that vegan Nutella in my mouth.
Ooh, I made vegan Nutella.
Yeah.
From last week we mentioned.
We had some with some sort of hazelnut chocolate ice cream and some heated up vegan Nutella. That was good.
That was good. We need to eat that before it goes off.
Yes. Should we have some more vegan Nutella and ice cream after this, maybe?
Maybe. I'm trying to think what
put a lot of lollipops in my mouth.
A lot of lollipops. I had some of that Fry's slicing sausage.
Oh, so did I. Had some in the sandwich.
Had an awesome sandwich.
Some good vegan sausage.
Yeah, I sliced up, did some of the vegan slicing sausage. and then I sliced up some pickles, covered it in mayonnaise and sriracha,
Oh,
and made a really good sandwich.
that sounds like a really good sandwich.
It was a really good sandwich. I liked it so much for breakfast that I came home and had it again for lunch.
I had some cheese Doritos and I actually got on okay with them, even though they're cheese flavour.
I'm not allowed to eat them.
Now,
They've got milk in.
I wouldn't have eaten them had I not been in such a messy state. But they were cheese flavour and I still got on okay with them, and that's a surprise for me.
Oh.
What are the questions we got?
That is our lot. Do you know what I want to see more of?
What do you want to see more of?
Social justice warriors.
Hello, Larry. How's it going?
Oh, I'm alright, Barry. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm not too bad. I had a brief confusion about who I was, but it seems to be all right now.
It doesn't help that we have such similar names,
We
does
do
it?
have very similar names.
Yeah, it's the
If only
funny
one of
bit.
us had been called Dave.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm doing all right as well this week, but like
Yeah.
I've been thinking about a thing that's just been on my mind. So have you seen this whole thing about James? What's his name? James Gunn.
James Gunn.
James Gunn, yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy guy got
I've
fired by
heard
Disney.
bits of it. I
Yeah.
haven't heard the full story.
Yeah. So short version is he got fired by Disney this week because some right wing people pointed out to Disney that about 10 years ago he tweeted some pretty shitty jokes. Like, well, I'm not going to deny they're pretty shitty jokes.
Oh,
So-
was this all about the paedophilia stuff?
No, that's on a similar topic. I believe that was Dan Harmon, the writer of.
Oh, the one that made the video that's recently turned up.
Yeah. So both of these are kind of on the same point. Is both of these are about a decade old. Some shitty jokes that are along themes like paedophilia or rape, and they're very clearly attempts at shock humour. And these are people who have I've seen some consequences for those jokes, and I don't necessarily think that's wrong, but it brings up an interesting conversation, which is how do we look at stuff that happened a long time ago, and is there a point at which we go that's not necessarily indicative of who these people are today? So James Gunn, as an example, gave what seemed like a very sincere apology for his jokes. He was like, look, about a decade ago I was a far shittier person. I used to try and make shock humour jokes. Don't do that anymore. I think it's shitty. I'm sorry I did it. And he's been fired from working on the Guardians of the Galaxy films as a result. And I just think it's an interesting question. It's like, how long does something have to be in the past before you go, maybe someone has changed since then?
Well, I think it depends. Like, if you are finding examples of that person having had similar issues further on. Like, I myself was, fucking twat as a child, and, I used to tell ridiculous, edgy jokes to my so-called friends, and some of them were very much along the lines of that sort of shitty thing.
Yeah.
But as I grew up and met more loving and interesting people, I have developed like a sense of compassion for other people. I don't make those kind of jokes anymore, and I like to hope that I'm learning every day how to be a generally better person.
Well,
but at the same time, somebody might find, oh God, I don't know, maybe even one of my school books that had something shitty written in it.
Yeah.
And that's what, 20 odd years ago now, and maybe somebody could find something on me and go, look, clearly they're an absolute bastard, and this, that, and the other, and sack them for their jobs, and this, that, and the other.
Well, this is exactly what I'm thinking. Is if you look at me, like say, maybe 15 years ago, considerably less woke, made a lot of those same sort of really shitty things, and I'm just very lucky that at the time when I was doing that, social media was not so much a thing.
Yeah.
I'm very much not connected to those old social media accounts. If they, that did exist, they sort of died off.
Yeah.
And I'm very lucky in that regard. But like, I think there is something that's a real shame about the fact that the way the internet works right now, there is not room for people to be allowed to grow and develop. Like,
Yeah.
if there is evidence that at some point in the past you said something shitty, that could 15 years later come back to bite you in the arse. And like, I think there's definitely a difference between like someone saying something shitty and doing something shitty. Like,
Yeah.
let's say someone 10 years ago raped someone. That's not a thing that like the passage of time corrects.
No.
But you know, it's a different thing to be like someone made a bit of a shitty joke a decade ago, and you know they clearly seem to be learning and becoming a better person, but. No, a decade ago they said a bad thing. That's bad.
Yeah, I think it really depends how much harm was done by whatever the shitty thing was. Like, there are people today who, you know, I'll give you a fine example. I once saw a TED Talk about a guy who had been part of the reason for a large number of elephant cullings.
Yeah.
That is a supremely shitty and you know, very damaging thing that has happened in the world.
Yeah.
Now, this guy has since then gone on to work on bringing greenery back to large portions of the desert, and he's done amazing work to literally re-green and almost reforest large parts of desert.
Yeah.
And you know, that is someone who has definitely tried to make up for the shitty thing they've done. But if someone has, you know, molested someone at a party 10 years ago, and they've basically never said anything about it, they've not apologised to the person, they've not, you know, done anything to make anything better, they've not supported refugees or social care that people might need in the event of trying to escape from abuse or rape or something similar to that, you know, it's a very different situation there.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is if you look at these like tweeted jokes in this game, the James Gunn situation, like these are decade-old tweets that flew under the radar that like did not make a big splash. Like, it's not like they spread like wildfire and upset a bunch of people. It's all things that were very clearly dug up to go this person is a terrible person.
Don't get me wrong, they are absolutely they are shitty.
They are like really shitty things to have said, but the person very clearly also, when you look at their apology, it seems very sincere. It's like, this is someone who recognises a decade ago they were a lot less woke than they are today.
I think that could be said of a lot of people.
Well, indeed. So I don't know where I land on this entirely, but I think that it's important to talk this through, because like it's a problem I think is going to happen more and more, particularly as like the younger generation that have grown up on social media.
Yeah.
As they grow up, this is going to be a thing that happens a lot.
Yeah.
I think as a society, we need to work out like where we stand on it.
Yeah, and this is the problem. You know, it's difficult to escape from your past now. You can't just say, look, I've moved on and I've changed, because someone could always Google through your previous history somehow and find some example of some shitty thing you did as a kid. Yeah. Or even in your 20s. But, you know, hopefully everybody is learning and growing and becoming, you know, less of a spoilt little shitbag as one might be as a child, or, you know, just falling in with the wrong crowd and, you know, like...
doing bad stuff and trying to fit in and shit like that.
You know, if you are surrounded by people who do bad things and are shitty, there's a chance that you might do some of those things as well. And there's also a chance that at some point later in life you might wake up and go, actually, that's not me, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want to be associated with that. Yeah. Short of going and deleting every single tweet they've ever made, or you know, whole Facebook accounts or whatever else. And even then, you know, you'd find it through the Wayback Machine or whatever.
Yeah.
So there is really no escape from your past, and I think nobody has been squeaky clean forever.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's been a good chat as ever.
Yeah.
I hope you have a good evening.
You too.
I'm gonna get some sleep.
Nice.
So, where can we find you on the indie net?
Me?
You can find me at Laura K Buzz pretty much everywhere. Laura K Buzz on Twitter, Laura K Buzz on YouTube, Laura K Buzz on Twitch, where I'm doing some Fortnite streams during my lunch breaks at the moment. Yeah. You can also find me on Dice Funk, which is a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition real play podcast. I'm on seasons 3 and 4. Season 3, I don't turn up until about 8 episodes in, but I'm very proud of that season, so go maybe start with that one, because I really heckin' like it. Also, if you're listening to this on the day it goes up, and you're in Warwick, and you're at Amicon, hello, I'm there, come say hi. You probably only have like a half a day or so to find me, but if you're at Amicon by any chance, I'm there, I'm in Warwick. Ooh, Warwick, I'm in ya.
Ooh, lucky
So,
Warwick.
What about you? Where are you?
Did you do Kotaku?
Oh yeah, kotaku.co.uk, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. I probably didn't say that. I'm going to be in a book at some point in like 6 months, maybe a bit longer. What about you? Where are you?
I am stonemonkeyradio.blog, Maniac Janiac on YouTube and Twitter. I can be found most Thursdays at about 7:30 UK time, doing a stream on twitch.tv/Janiac.
The most recent one, as of this going up, will have been 2 Point Hospital, probably.
It will have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you can find the VOD of on your YouTube.
Yep, all the VODs are going over there. I also recently recorded on YouTube a video instructing you on how to deal with all the cards when you first get Legendary Encounters Alien. Something I struggled with the first time, but hopefully other people will have a video to look at if they ever need it.
So.
And that's that. I think that's it. Oh, SoundCloud, Jane Aerith Magnet. That me.
That you. So with that out the way, until next time, be a stranger.